So let me record this. Yeah, I'm going to share this video. So, okay. So first thing, I'm just going to be going over the Xenon mystery. Not Xenon, it's Zenon. Zenon, right? Zenon, right?
Yeah, that's how I pronounce it.
Yeah, Zenon, not Xenon. The Zenon mystery. And I'm going to go over the tech stack, how it works. And I'm going to like speculate how they might integrate Bitcoin Lightning. So I've been talking to one of the other devs on the Zenon. So hopefully it's true or it's just all speculation.
Who are you talking to, George?
Yeah, George. Yeah, it's pretty cool.
He's a super smart guy.
Yeah, so, all right, so the rabbit hole. So originally when he introduced it to me, it was like, oh, check out this anonymous project. I was like, I'm not too into anonymous projects. Most people aren't because it's like, oh, it could be a scam, take your money and they disappear. You don't know, right? So, but then the thing is that I was like, I blew it off in the beginning, and then it popped up somewhere, and then I looked more deeper into it, and then I'm sucked in, pretty much. Yeah, I'm sure you guys will sucked in once if I explain it properly. Yeah, the rabbit hole is crazy. All right. So starting from the beginning, this is the history of Zenon. So originally in 2018 in May, the very first Bitcoin talk post about this project surfaced. It was originally from a user called Professor Z, and he was anonymous. Nobody knows who he is. So basically, he posted, and he was talking about like, oh, there's some new type of blockchain, you know. But the thing is that you also have to consider exactly when this was posted. In 2018, it was right after the 2017 ICO pump and dumps, right? So anything that came out after that, a lot of people were skeptical. Everybody would be skeptical, you know. It's an instant shitcoin until you could prove yourself, right? So, but the thing is that he was promoting that, oh, I want to build this new system. It's going to be fair launch. So they were going to distribute the coins using a new type of mechanism called lockdrop. Okay. So what the lockdrop is, basically you send them your Bitcoins, some random person on the internet, and expect to get it back over time. So that time was 24 months. You have to wait 24 months to get all your Bitcoins back, along with the Zenon tokens, right? So you know, you read this like, it's bullshit, you know, it's like, you know, but whoever took the gamble paid off really well, right? But the thing is that as a gamble, you could have lost all your money too, right? So keep in mind, Bitcoin was about $5,000 at that time, and they raised almost 500 Bitcoins. That's insane for an anonymous project, you know? So there's something fishy going on already. The fact that they raised $2 million at that time. Okay, so the unthinkable happens in all scam projects. They give you your money back, right? So, but the thing is that there was a clause, a requirement in order to get that Bitcoin back. You actually have to leave a node up and running for 2 years. Not 2 years, like just gotta leave it running, and then you get your Bitcoins back along with the Zenon coins that they were distributing to all the people that participated. But obviously, you know, it's risky, right? Because it's still vaporware. They don't have anything yet. They don't have anything, right? So, and the rabbit hole goes deeper after that, right? So whoever put in the 2 million, they know something, that's for sure. So the first breadcrumb to fall was right 1 year after 2018, 2019, they created their Twitter account, the zenon-network. The Twitter account had one follower, which was Hal Finney, which is the second person to interact with Satoshi Nakamoto. Okay, so in 2018, they created their Twitter account right during their Bitcoin talk post, and then a year after, 2019, Square Crypto, Jack Dorsey's company, in 2019, 1 year after, they also created their Twitter account, and it also only followed Hal Finney. Okay, so this could just be a coincidence, you know, because it's 1 year apart. But now moving to the next point. Okay, so when they created the Twitter account in 2018, remember 2018, it stayed dormant for a whole entire year. In 2019, the very first post was, "Hello, this is Zenon," right? And then the very same day, Square Crypto tweets a waving hand, but not replying to that, right? But if you connected on the same day, they just did a waving hand, but they don't know to who, right? They just did a tweet, that's it, just to a waving hand. So another coincidence, it's the same day they tweeted. So don't know if it's the links, not yet, right? But it's a lot of coincidences. So, and then the next one, okay? So Jack Dorsey tweets, when is it? 2019 in March, okay? 2019 in March. So he announces that Square Crypto is hiring 3 to 4 crypto engineers and 1 designer in May of 2019. And then the Zenon created a Bitcoin talk post on the forum asking for the first applications. No, they got the first batch of applications for 4 developers and 1 graphic designer and 3 other roles, okay? That's basically a month or 2 apart. And then the following week after the Zenon post on the forum, Square Crypto posts, and they say, "We are close to making our final hire." So is it all related? Don't know, right? Could be. Just another coincidence. Okay. So there's another one. All right. So it's getting more interesting. Very interesting. All right. So Square Crypto in April, I think either there's no year on this. I think this is 2020 or 2020. I'm pretty sure it's 2020. So what they said, so they did a very cryptic tweet, super cryptic tweet. It's like, don't know who is it, talking about, right? So if you don't know about Zenon, this would just fly over your head. It's like, whatever, right? So basically they said, if you've never foolishly handed your private keys to a roving pillar of shimmering blue light and 1,000 floating eyeballs, or a traveling merchant who grants wishes in exchange for favors, you're still new to crypto. So when it says pillar there, so pillar is a type of node on the Zenon network, okay? And the floating eyeballs are basically another type of node on the Zenon network, which is called sentinels. All right, so this is most likely what they're hinting at, but obviously they would never confirm it, but it's all still speculation. All right, but wait, there's more. Okay, so now it gets a little more technical on the coincidences, okay? So in 2020 of last year, in June, they did the very first internal testing of the NOM, which is called the network of momentum, which is what they're building. So this is the very first tweet where they tweeted about the thing that they're building. So in this tweet, it was an animated GIF of just random, it looks like random stuff, right? But the thing is that what they put a little Easter egg on the bottom. It says Paradigm Fund. For those that don't know what Paradigm Fund is, the Paradigm Fund is one of the top crypto investment firms. It's the main 2 founders is Fred Hirschman or something like that. He's one of the co-founders of Coinbase. So he's one of the super early OGs. And then the other one is Matt Huang, which is the other co-founder of the Paradigm Fund. So what you notice here is Matt Huang's Twitter profile looks very similar to the Zenon like artwork that they have on the website. Very similar, green and blue hues, right? Obviously, he doesn't confirm that he's part of the project, but you would imagine that maybe they might have the same designer or the same art director, telling them how to design the stuff. Okay, so another coincidence. Next is, thanks to Phil for this interesting one. So this is, like you said, this is like the real kicker, okay? So basically, you guys contacted him. So, well, basically he made a tweet about Zenon, And then,
And some people in the community.
yeah, some people in the community, yeah, start bothering this guy because supposedly he tweeted, he might have leaked something about Zenon on one of his tweets. And then one of the community members contacted this guy about it. Said, "Oh, are you part of this?" So he didn't reply and he deleted his Twitter account, his LinkedIn account. He cleaned himself from the internet. Right now, you can't even go to archive.com in the Wayback Machine to find any information on this guy. But then I was able to dig some stuff up, but I couldn't find it again. But I don't know if it confirms that Square Crypto is part of this project. But this is a interesting find, right? So you can even Google him. Like, I mean, I'll give you like all the stuff, but
then like overzealous people in the community started harassing this guy. Like,
yeah,
all the time.
Yeah.
Really super,
yeah. So it's sometimes better to stay anonymous.
like, all these like random people in the community that get like way too overzealous.
Yeah, yeah, it's crazy. And then the next thing to follow is so this tweet is from Vortex, one of the very early OG Bitcoiners from 2010, most likely. So nobody knows who he is. So what he tweeted was, "What should we call the apps built on the Lightning Network for Bitcoin?" He's talking about Bitcoin, you know, specifically, supposedly, right? So most people pick Zaps. So right now, currently, the Lightning Network apps that would be built on the Lightning Network are called Laps, which sounds really silly, honestly, right? But Zenon, one of the Medium blog posts that they posted, they also named their apps on the network called Zaps. So we'll see the Bitcoin connection in a bit. I'll show you. Okay, and one major thing with this one is it's very interesting. With the Bitcoin Lightning Network, the original white paper was co-authored by Taj Dryja. So he's a super highly technical Bitcoin guy, and he wrote the paper with one of his other partners. So in a lot of his posts, well, not a lot of his posts, some of his posts, he mentions the word Sentinel in it. And that's one of the node's names, called Sentinel. And also his GitHub icon looks like a Sentinel, green and black. So maybe it's just coincidence. Maybe he just likes a ball and a green stripe.
He was the original author of the Lightning paper.
Yeah, and Joseph Kuhn. Yeah, two guys. Okay. Yeah, so I forgot where I found this, but yeah, he mentioned Sentinel. So the other co-author is Joseph Kuhn. So Joseph Kuhn is pretty known for be on the Ethereum side because he was really big on Plasma. I don't know if you guys are familiar with Plasma. So that was a big thing for Ethereum for scaling and stuff. But he's also a very big proponent. He did a talk about a new DLT type of structure called the DAG, the directed acrylic graph. Okay, so he talked a lot about this, and this technology is actually being used in the Zenon. So there is maybe the speculation that these two guys are working anonymously on the project. Obviously, they will never confirm it, but it's something to think about if they are, because these guys are super hardcore. And most of these breadcrumbs, I got it from Shaz, this blog post. There's a lot more to what I have. And if you guys want to read more about it, you guys check out the Ape's Guide to the Galaxy. So, and then I got this quote on the page too. So now putting it all together with all the speculation and coincidences. So consider that the Genesis ZNN investors were all refunded the Bitcoins, $2 million, okay? And then if you saw the Xenon website, it's a pretty decked out website, really well designed, okay? And then they released tech before the Genesis event, which was pretty solid, all right? Now, and then also think about the team of highly skilled professionals, which have been building this thing for almost 3 years. And you might be asking, like, who's paying for all of this, right? Who's paying for all of this? Think about it. So some people think it's Jack, but it's better that, honestly, they should stay anonymous, like Satoshi Nakamoto. Because if you think about it, if Satoshi was actually, you can actually detect find out who he is exactly, that's a big risk to Bitcoin because there's so many government actors, tax agencies from around the world that would try to take him out, right? Because he would be a big risk. Because if somebody like took him out or put him in prison, you can imagine your Bitcoin price, it would tank, maybe temporarily. But I mean, you could definitely say that if Vitalik, the creator of Ethereum, got taken out or got sick, got in the hospital, your Ethereum price would drop. That's for sure. But it might, it'll come back up, right? But still, the fact that there's a leader, that's a big problem. So that's why the Zenon, they always say Zenon is an independent entity, so they're not affiliated with anybody. Even though I give you all these coincidences that's pointing to them, they'll never say, oh, I'm part of it, right? Because it's better that they stay anonymous, that it's an anonymous project. Okay, so, and then those are the breadcrumbs for that. So next, I'm gonna go through the Zenon, the tech stack. So it might get a little technical here, so bear with me. Okay. So first thing is that you guys need to know is distributed ledger technology, so DLT. So DLT, so blockchain sits under DLT. It's a type of DLT, distributed ledger technology, the blockchain. So Bitcoin was the first to create this. So it's very simple concept that you can visualize. It's the blocks chained together, where you have your transactions in one block and it goes to the next chain. So obviously technology iterates and improves over time. So what the next thing is a DAG, is a directed acrylic graph, acyclic graph, right? So this is the better and more scalable and faster version of a blockchain, right? So it was original project that really got it going was IOTA back in the day, like 2017, 2018 or something. But I don't know what's the full story why it died, but it's dead. So now you have other people taking its place, other projects taking its place for using a DAG-based system. And then the next type of technology in the DLT space is a block lattice. A block lattice is still relatively new. It got famous for block lattice was from Raiblocks, which we named itself to Nano, the Nano cryptocurrency, if anybody remembers. Yeah, so they were the very first to have a truly feeless system. And I forgot why they died themselves, but what makes a block lattice really revolutionary is that the block, every user is a blockchain. So like your wallet controls your coins, and so every time you send or receive coins to somebody, that transaction history only stays in your phone. But the main blockchain of a block lattice, it only keeps track of your balance, so it doesn't bloat the blockchain a lot. And also it works in parallel. So if everyone's doing transaction at the same time, everybody is in its own blockchain. So it's like super fast and it's concurrent. So asynchronous. Okay. So Zenon is the first blockchain project to do a meta DAG, which is just another DAG, just a DAG, and a block lattice combined together. It's the first that I've ever seen do. So it's very revolutionary of how they're gonna solve it. So supposedly the launch day is next Friday, I think Thanksgiving, Thursday, something, 11/24. So right now they have a testnet working. Currently it works pretty well. It's feeless. Right now you do transactions. you do it in your wallet, and then it gets broadcast to the Sentinel node, and then it does some proof of work or proof of work link, what they call it, and then the proof of work transaction goes to a pillar, and then that's how it keeps track of the ledger, right? Yeah. So next is we have our consensus algorithms with proof of work, which is what we all know, which is Bitcoin and all the other coins that come after it, like Bitcoin Cash, and proof of stake, which is originally created by, first was Peercoin that did proof of stake, and then the very first proof of stake system was NXT, okay? And then it distributed POS, I mean, not distributed, is it distributed? What was it? Is it a delegated proof of stake was popularized by BitShares and EOS. Okay, so these are consensus algorithms, and you got a whole bunch of other ones. Proof of storage, proof of activity, proof of history, which is Solana is known for. So Zenon's consensus algorithm is proof of stake plus proof of work. Okay. And then next thing to know is the Zenon node types. So there are two types of nodes, like I mentioned before, pillar nodes and sentinel nodes. So sentinels kind of deals with the proof of work, and then the pillars does the proof of stake type of thing, if I'm correct. And that's where the ledger gets updated. I don't know the full details of it, but this is basically what it is: a pillar and then a sentinel. So a pillar is more valuable than a sentinel. So there's only so many pillars that could be on the network, and so as well as the sentinel, but it costs much more for it to have a pillar. So next thing, going through all the Zenon tech stack, now I'm going to go into the speculation mode of how they might connect with Bitcoin. And there's some posts about it, but obviously no one knows exactly right now. So before I get deep into it, I just got to give a really super basic intro of how Bitcoin Lightning Network works. It's super complicated. So Bitcoin Lightning Network is basically scaling for Bitcoin, because right now it takes 10-20 minutes just to send a coin, and then you gotta wait. It's just really clunky and slow. All right. So Bitcoin Lightning Network is based off of what they call a hash time lock contracts. It's a feature of the Bitcoin blockchain. I don't know exactly how it works fully, but it's basically you send Bitcoins into the future and you lock it. And that's how a Lightning Network takes effect somehow. So it's very confusing, just know that, unless you're like a super technical blockchain dev, then don't even bother. Just know that it works. Yeah. Okay, so best way to explain it to a 5-year-old. So you think of the bank as the blockchain, as the Bitcoin blockchain, like the actual bank, and then you have signed checks. You have signed checks you give people, and then you go to the bank to get the cash out, right? That's how you think of it as Bitcoin, right? So think of you signed a check, right? And you gave it to your friend or whoever to pay for something, but that guy never goes to the bank to cash it out. But he knows it's still good. It's a good check because he knows that you have money in the bank. Okay, so that's basically how Lightning Network works. You're passing around the signed check because it's like instantaneous. You don't have to go to a bank. It takes 10-20 minutes, right? You just give it to the other person. So that's how Lightning Network basics work. All right. So next thing is Lightning limitations. So a really good talk with the Lightning limitations is one of the authors of the Lightning Network white paper, Taj. He went on a Bitcoin talk and talked about like the limitations of it. And surprisingly, he sees that it's very restricted, that he quit the project. He's not working on the Lightning Network anymore. the creator of the white paper. So that's something to think about. Okay. So what the white paper states and how Lightning Network works is with watchtowers. Okay. So in the Lightning networks, you have watchtowers. You can think of them as security guards at a bank. Okay. So what they do is they make sure your old checks, other people don't bring in your old checks to cash it out. So let's say you wrote a signed check and gave it to somebody to pay for something, $100 signed check. So then now you wanted to, a month later, you gave him a $50 signed check. So now you tell him, it's like, oh, okay, please void and rip up the old check that I gave you last month, which is worth $100. So then just in case he goes to the bank and cashes it, right? So that's what watchtowers or security guards do. They make sure that your old signed checks do not show up at the bank and get redeemed. So that's what that is for. So currently in the Bitcoin Lightning Network system, Lightning, if you use the network, you as a regular user actually have to have a service or a server or a computer on at all times to monitor the Bitcoin blockchain or bank to make sure that whoever you gave your old transactions, old signed transactions to, that they don't show up on the blockchain to steal your old money, okay? To take out more Bitcoins than they should. So that's what a watchtower does, right? So, but the thing is that if you're not a technical person, what most people would do, is just hire a security guard. So that's why there's a Lightning Network fees. You pay the watchtowers to make sure these old checks don't get cashed out. So the problem with that is that you're trusting a third party. What happens if the security guard goes to the bathroom for like 20 minutes and then the guy sneaks in and cashes out the old check, right? So in a watchtower scenario, maybe it goes offline or something. Maybe you gotta hire multiple watchtowers or something. But the thing is that you're trusting a third party. What makes it that, that they don't go offline or something happens, right? You're trusting that, they're holding your cash. So that might explain why there's not a huge wide adoption of the Lightning Network. All right. Okay. So Zenon might be the version 2 of the Bitcoin Lightning Network. So what if the security guards, like I said, didn't need to be paid by the user? So if the watchtower didn't need to be paid by the user, what would it look like? Okay, so it would be a sentinel, right? It would be a third party that's getting paid somewhere else. Someone else is paying them, which is the Zenon network, is paying the watchtower or the security guard in some other, Bitcoin maximalists might say it's a shitcoin, right? Zenon coin, the Zenon token is a shitcoin. But the thing is that they're paying the watchtowers to secure the Bitcoin network, to create these signed checks to make Bitcoin instantaneous. And because the Zenon network is feeless, now Bitcoin sits on top of the Zenon network. Now Bitcoin is completely feeless on this system. So that's a game changer in itself. And if you check with like you hear about Jack Dorsey always promoting Bitcoins, like, yeah, I'm trying to get Bitcoin over the world, get it promoted to be used by everybody. It doesn't make sense. Bitcoin can't, it just wouldn't work. There's limitations on the Lightning Network and the Bitcoin itself. You can't onboard like 4 billion people around the world onto Bitcoin Lightning Network. The watchtower system, it just wouldn't work. But in something like this, it potentially could work, especially if it's a block lattice. Okay, so whoever the Zenon developers are, they're super hardcore, because last week when the Bitcoin upgrade happened with the Taproot, if anyone follows, the very first block that was activated with the Taproot functionality, there was a Axie art written to the block, on that block, and the message was ZN, right, which is Zenon network. So for anyone to do this, you gotta be pretty hardcore. You gotta know your Bitcoin stuff really well to be able to get it up there, right? So that's a huge deal. All right. So, and then that's my talk for the Zenon. Hopefully I treat you guys. I mean, you have questions. It's something to look into, right? Who?
He'll never.
He'll never announce it. Oh, you want to hear for the breadcrumb talk? Yeah. So no, he'll never announce it. It wouldn't make sense. No, it wouldn't make sense because it'd be too risky for him. Then Jack Dorsey would be a target by government officials and a whole bunch of other agencies around the world. Because it's a huge threat if Bitcoin gets widely adopted around the world and they were able to stop it, especially you could stop the Lightning Network. Because right now you could kind of, you know, see who's in charge of the Watchtowers. Because right now, a lot of the Lightning Network is really hosted by a lot of huge crypto exchanges. So they're facilitating a lot of that stuff. So, you know, it works, right? But the thing is that you have to trust the third party. That's the problem.